Here's the thing I find interesting about you, Paddy, or one of the things is you sort of fell into show business, really, didn't you?
Well, Peter Kay was, you know, a kind of jobbing comedian at the time. He was doing all the little clubs as you do, you know, on the circuit and what have you. And I went along watching Peter a few nights. And when I left school, where I lived and how I was brought up was you leave school and you worked, basically, because, you know, to bring money in.
What were you doing? Were you a personal trainer? Is that why you were doing that?
Yeah, I was Peter's personal trainer.
Oh, I'd keep that quiet.
I don't like to talk about it. It's not a good advert.
That must have been a busy 3 minutes. But do you still work out with him? Because he must, like...
Clearly, yeah. Every week, John, we're on that beach like Rocky.
You look fit as a fiddle, but I guess like all... I mean, I'm trying to lose the weight after Christmas, and I guess he is as well. Is that right?
Not Christmas.
Christmas '89. Okay.
No, but you do, don't you? It says you get in your 30s, I find. It's harder and harder to get rid of it.
I'm dreading it.
Anyhow, so I went watching Peter at a comedy club, and we were leaving. He said, I'll just get my wage. And I said, oh, how much? He said, 40 quid. And I thought, God, at the time, I didn't earn that in a shift, so I thought... It was one of the things like, oh, well, I'll give that a whirl, you know, and I kind of
did... So did you know him already, or you just went up to him?
Yeah, we went to school together.
Oh,
we went to school together. We were mates for years. And then Peter did a show called that Peter Kay thing, which was the original Phoenix Nights was in that, the pilot to Phoenix Nights. And I did that, and then it was great, and I went back to work, and I thought, oh, that was a nice little treat, you know. And then he rang me up and he said we were doing Phoenix Nights, and he really dug his heels in for me, Pete, on that, you know, because he didn't have as much clout as he has now. And he really dug it, and I'll be forever grateful for that.
So, when did you get married? You got married last year?
June, yeah.
June last year? June. Well, congratulations. That's a lovely thing.
Thank you very much. Very nice.
That's a lovely thing. Congratulations to
young
Paddy. Oh, there you are, with your beautiful wife. Yeah. And Peter was the best man, is that right?
Yeah.
He make a good speech?
You say good. Because I kind of thought to myself, I was the best man at his wedding. And I totally killed it because I thought, I'll go a bit cheeky with this.
Yeah, yeah.
But all Peter's wife's family are like staunch Irish Catholics.
Oh, really?
And I got up and I went, thanks for everyone for coming today. Me and Peter, you know, I've known a long time and we've been through a lot together. I said, I just hope none of them are here today. Nothing. So he always says you're going to get me back for that, and he did, in spades. But, you know, that's for me.
You delivered a nice silence with the speaker.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
OK, let me ask you, let's go back to Take Me Out, because one of the things I like in the show is when you introduce the couples, you have those phrases you use, like let the ding see the dong.
Yeah.
Let the booty see the licious.
Yeah.
And you've got through a lot of those, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, God.
And I thought I'd dig some out from the old series and see how many you could remember. Some you could guess, I think, but some are just a bit crazy.
Right.
Let the banana see the...
Split.
Which I think is really rude when you stop thinking about it. I mean, I know it's a play on words, but that's... Once you start thinking about that...
Yeah. Do you know what? You're right.
That's so graphic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tea time that goes out. Let the blueberry see the...
Muffin.
It's blueberry, see the muffin. Let the bubble see the...
Oh, squeak.
Yes, and then there was another one. Let the bubble see the...
Rap.
Bubble see the rap?
Yeah.
Bubble see the bath. Bubble see the bath. It's kind of romantic.
Damn your eyes.
You're down one there. OK, how about this one? This is, once again, I think maybe a little too suggestive.
Right.
Let the cream see the...
Cracker.
No. You might have said that later on.
Oh, hang on. Let the cream see the... Horn?
The horn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I knew we'd get there.
What about this one? Let the pork see the...
Scratching.
You've done 3 separate pork ones. You could do a whole pork-themed show.
Go on then, let's go.
With no Jewish people on it, obviously.
Yeah.
Let the pork see the scratching. Let the pork see the...
Chop.
Yes, and finally, let the pork see the... For big points now. You're playing for the car.
Scratchings, chop, and... Let the pork see the...
It's right in front of your face, man.
Audience. Hall.
No! Let the pork see the pie. I was miming eating a pork pie.
I don't eat them like that.
You don't? All right, mate. We've got to move on. Paddy, great having you here. I love the show. We watch it every week. The kids love watching it. I'm hooked as well now. You know what? I like all the kids on it. All the girls, you know, they're playing along, having fun, and the guys must be so nerve-wracking for them. But, you know, hats off to them for going out and doing it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Thank
taking
you very
part.
much,
And hats off for you for doing such a great job.
Thank you.
Don't go away, because I know you want to enjoy the next act. But for now, will you join me in saying thank you to Paddy McGuinness, ladies and gentlemen?
Great stuff.
Great stuff. We have got a musical treat for you now. Believe me, you don't want to miss this. Will you please welcome, and you might know him, he was in a big commercial last year. I saw it, fell in love with what he did, wanted to see him do it live, so we've asked him to come over. Here he is. Will you please make him feel very welcome? It's Petr Spatina! Petr Spatina, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't that something? Matter how? Oh, because you have to keep your hands. He has to keep the oil off the fingers. Is that right?
Yes.
It's fantastic. You know, I wouldn't want to listen to it all night, but it's great. It's great. I love that. And that was one of your own compositions. Fragile. Is it called Fragile Sounds?
Fragile Sound.
Fragile Sounds.
Zerbrechlicher, in German, zerbrechlicher Klang.
Exactement. Now, that is so good. But do you do popular music at all? Do you do requests, for example?
Maybe, I don't know.
Ladies, well, do you have any requests? Anything you want to try? See if Petr can try?
Peter, can you do a bit of Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga.
Bad Romance.
Bad Romance?
Bad Romance.
That's romance.
You know the wah 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 ka, mama pa la la wah la la. I got a bad romance.
Okay. Nee, dat is wel fout.
Fabulous. Petr Spatina. That is orchestra of glass. I bet there'll be kids all over the country sort of like trying that with glasses at the weekend and smashing Dad's special whiskey one. Shall we get my next guest out, ladies and gentlemen? I think we should. She's a film goddess. She's a Broadway superstar. It is the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented Brooke Shields. Hey, great to meet you.
Fun back there.
You were having a nice time.
I was having a lovely
time. You enjoyed. Obviously, have you met Emma before? I don't know if you
just met. Briefly. I can't say. Okay. You know, I know her, but now we're all very intimate after being on that couch together.
And have you met Florence before?
No, this is the first.
And the machine? Did you meet her machine back then?
You could feel it.
And Paddy, you got on well with Paddy?
Got along very well with Paddy.
Did you understand much of what he was saying? Because he has,
Nothing.
Whereabouts in the north exactly are you from, Paddy?
Bolton.
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 No,
yeah.
Bolton.
No.
Not Bolton.
Not Bolton.
Bolton.
Bolton. Bolton. Bolton. Bolton.
I'm from New York.
Hey, but you know, one of the things I admire about you is you're one of those rare things. You're someone who was a child star, been in the business for a while, and didn't go off the rails ever. But you won't believe how long Brooke's been, because if we were to say your first professional engagement, we could say that you have been working in show business for 45 years.
You could, yes, you could safely, and you'd be correct.
Because you were, how was it, 11 months
I was 11 months when and I had a lot to say about it.
Yeah.
Right. I was a baby model.
You were the face of various products, weren't you? And they became, what were you the face of? You were the face of...
I was like the face of the 80s, which I don't understand how that's like an arbitrary thing. It's like,
80s.
here's the face of the 80s. Yeah. Like,
you
it's
know,
weird.
You might like this, because Paddy's done, I know you won't believe this, but Paddy's done a bit of modelling, and Paddy, you were the face of...
Greggs.
Greggs. They make pasties. Do you know what a pasty is? Have you had a pasty?
Like the...
Sausage rolls, Brooke.
Oh, sausage rolls. I thought you meant like a mint, like a pasty.
No, not like a pastil.
No.
That's how classy Brooke is.
I'm sorry.
Can you imagine him being...
I was a French major at university.
Can him be in the face of an upmarket French mint?
A little round mint.
Hey, I tell you what, get that down the chuck, eh? Right, fresh wrap and all, Bolton. Anyway, you've got two girls.
I do.
How old are they?
Oh, they're 5 and 8.
5 and 8. OK, so they know Mum was a model, Mum was in show business, Mum made movies. Do they want some of that action? Do they say, Mum, can we do some of this?
They don't have the patience for it. I think, you know, so much of why I even wanted to do it was to be liked. You know, it's that sort of getting the approval. But they're growing up so differently. They both got a chance to be in... My husband's a film writer, and he asked if they could be in a cameo one day. And I said, great. So we got them all. They got a little wardrobe in their little trailer. The older one goes through hair and makeup, the wardrobe, everything. Happy to go do the scene. The little one, who rarely smiles, as you can see in that picture, does all the hair and makeup, gets everything all dressed up, and then says, no, I cannot. So wouldn't do it. So I get her home. I mean, I was at home, and I said, honey, I said, why didn't you want to do it? She said, I did not want to. And I said, did you just want to do the hair and makeup? And she said, yes. She's no dummy. She went through all the hair and makeup pretending she was going to do it, and then I thought, either you'll be fabulous in Hollywood or you won't make it at all.
You know, you mentioned you're married and you have the children now, of course, but you are famously linked with a number of men over the years. Because kind of, you know, lucky men, has to be said. But, you know, high profile. I won't go through all the names.
Too many.
I don't think we have time.
Wait,
but certainly, but a few stick out, and one in particular, you know, I said, well, you know, you went, you were very close with Michael Jackson.
Yes.
How closely did you know him? I mean, you were really pretty close for years, weren't you?
Yes. I mean, I'd have to say that in the later years, after I think when I married and had children, I became less in his life. But we met when we were, I mean, I was 13. And I never wanted anything from him, you know? I had my own life and my own work. I didn't need something from him, you know, to get something from him.
And is that what everyone else, he was encountering that a lot elsewhere?
It just was rampant, you know? And I think that was he had a sense of, you know, he was, I think, secure around me and didn't feel threatened and didn't feel... I had nothing to judge him about. I had nothing. We laughed. You know, we were like little kids in this really adult world, and we got to sort of hang on to each other and be little kids. And I think that was a gift, and we both knew it and cherished it.
So when was the last time you spoke to him before his death?
When my baby's being born, he called me or he sent me flowers, and
that's nice.
You know, just to because it was what I always talked about. You know, that was sort of the one thing that I always knew I wanted to do, was have children. Like that was the one thing, no matter what this crazy career did or where I was wanted or not wanted or accepted or rejected, whatever it was, I knew that I wanted that part.
And he proposed to you, didn't he?
No, see, he gave me a beautiful ring, and I said, what does this mean? Do you want to ask me a question? And he said, no, I just want you to know, you know, that look at it, and I mean, he would say things like that, look how beautiful it is, and just know that I love you and that but it never crossed over into that. I mean, and it was safer for him to say, I was his girlfriend or I was something, because it kept, you know, he was fine with me. Like, I was going to protect him.
But let me ask you about George Michael, because you dated George Michael, and I'm thinking, OK, you've got to have the worst gaydar in the world.
But also
Because how old were you when you dated George?
Keep in mind that I'd gone on, which was the Johnny Carson show. So that's how long ago this was.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's
You're talking about 20-odd years ago, at least?
Yes. And they said, you know, who would you like to be stranded on an island with? Of course, the typical question. So I say, oh, George Michael. Well, it was known, sadly, because I wrote a book, it was known that I was a virgin. Okay. So, of course, I mean, it became who would
Who's going to be the lucky fella?
Who's going to be the guy?
They should have given out a golden ticket, like for Willy Wonka.
Like,
you could have got it in a DVD, and it's like, I got it!